Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kayla, and in today's video we're going to talk about every game I played in January, every game I finished in January, and games that I probably won't touch again. Let's start with Witchy Life Story. I actually played Witchy Life Story at the end of December, but it was after my 2023 wrap-up, so it counts. In this game, you play as a witch who is sent to a small town to help them out with everything they need. You craft potions and other witchy things to help them. The game itself wasn't terrible, but I didn't finish it, and I'm probably not going to go back to it. The puzzle aspect was very disappointing. The crafting was cute at first, but it gets repetitive, and it is very easy to solve. The rest of the game is reading, and as someone who likes to stream games, I was so tired of reading out loud by the end of it that it made me not want to play it again. Each day you have to talk to all the townspeople again, and the conversations kind of drag on. If you're into visual novels and don't mind reading a lot, you might still like it, but personally these kinds of games aren't really for me. I just like a little more puzzling and a little less reading. The next game I finished was The Last Campfire. In this game, you play as an ember that is looking for meaning and his way back home. During his journey, he finds lost embers who have become forlorn and saves them from staying lost and petrified. Each time you find one, you solve a puzzle to return a flame to them, which brings them back. This is probably one of my favorite puzzle games now. It was so beautiful, and even though a lot of the puzzles were easy for me, there were some really challenging puzzles that I had to get some help on because they were just not clicking. But I really enjoyed the type of puzzle. They were a little bit similar to Zelda puzzles. There were some where you had to reflect light beams off of mirrors. There were a few where you had to prevent a flame from going out as you move it, and others where you just move items around. Overall, I highly recommend this game. Next, I played Old Man's Journey. This game was absolutely stunning. In this game, you play as an old man who sets out on a journey, of course. Throughout the journey, you solve landscape puzzles where you have to move hills around to be able to walk forward. In between puzzles, you get memories of his life, and throughout the game, you learn about his family. This game is a bit sad, and it gets sadder as you play. I really liked seeing the background and weather change as the story got sadder. The colors become more dull as you play, and you start getting storms as well. The puzzles in the game were pretty much the same throughout, but I never found myself bored with them. They do add different aspects to them, like cute little sheep that block your path and you have to get them to specific areas out of your way. The only downside for the game is that it only takes about an hour and a half before completing it. I don't think it's expensive for the content you get, but I usually wait to get games on sales, and I'm glad I did for this one. I did see it's included in Apple Arcade, so that's a good game to check out. But I would absolutely recommend checking it out if you're looking for a nice short game to play. In What Remains of Edith Finch, you play as Edith as she explores her childhood home. She's the last Finch alive, and as you explore it, you find the stories of her relatives and learn what happened to each one. This game was so depressing. You relive the last moments of each of the family members before they died, and each one has a completely different death. Although nothing really scary happens, this game felt like a horror game. The house is spooky and you're constantly walking through hidden passages, and combined with the music, I was waiting for something to jump at me. The story was super entertaining, but it dealt with so much death that I can't recommend it without a disclaimer. The game itself was beautiful and extremely well made. Overall, it was a great game despite it being sad and very disturbing at times. Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons is absolutely the saddest game I've ever played. You play as two brothers who set out on a journey to find a cure for their sick father. Their mother is already dead when you start the game, and you watch what happened to her as the first cutscene in the game. This game left me speechless. It has amazing storytelling, and I would 100% recommend playing it, but just know that it will absolutely break your heart. The gameplay was super unique since you have to control both brothers at the same time, which can get confusing when you're trying to have them work together. I can't speak about this game too much without spoilers, but I do go into details in my video where I play sad games until I stop. This game is actually getting a remake since the graphics are older, so if you don't like older graphics, you can look forward to the remake. Summerhouse is described as a tiny building game about beautiful lived-in houses, no rules or restrictions, just pure creativity. This game looks very cozy, but I don't think it's going to be for me. I love the concept in theory, but it's the kind of game I personally get bored with. I love rules and restrictions, but mostly in terms of objectives and guides. So if you personally love building games and just decorating it with nothing to guide you, this is the game for you, but not for me. Broken Lens is a spot the difference game where you discover the story of a little broken robot. This was really fun, and I really love these kinds of games growing up, but I've never played it in a digital form. So seeing this as a video game is really cool, so I wanted to try it out. It had a few different levels to try on the demo, and I really enjoyed it. It's really colorful and beautiful, and I would love to play it one day, but it was hurting my eyes a bit, and that might just be me as a personal problem. So I probably won't be playing it, but I would love to see other people playing it because it is super cute and I want to know the little secrets of the broken robot. And last but not least, I played the demo to Death and Taxes. This game is so different from all my other games. In this, you play as the Grim Reaper in an office job where you have to decide who's going to live or die. And then those people that you decide affect the world. So there are a lot of consequences to your choices. They give you some guidelines from a boss. If you follow those guidelines, you earn money and keep your job. But if you don't follow those guidelines, you still can have consequences and you could even lose your job. This was such an interesting experience. They give you files for each person, and sometimes you had to make some hard choices because you might want to save a person who is a sweetheart that is trying to save the world, but you have to save the politician who takes bribes from corporations. And I want to see more of this game for sure. I don't know if I want to play it personally, but I might look at some streamers or videos on this game. And there you have every game I played in January this year. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far into the video, comment below what games you played last month. Thank you so much. Bye.